Hello everyone. As part of today's video, I'll cover CI/CD and DevOps things. So if you see the latest trending pattern of any software development team or any software development company, they are following agile kind of development model where they need production ready code within a week, within 2 week. That kind of requirement is the latest trend in the market. For that purpose, we need some tools which are supportable for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And in this regard, we have Junkis as one of the very popular tool. And as part of this video, I'll cover about how to use Junkin and how to configure things. So the content will be like this. I'll cover about why and what is CI/CD, what is the purpose, and why do we need CI/CD. Then I'll introduce Junkins as one of the very popular tool for CI/CD. Then how to set up Junkins, what are the tools Jenkins provide to work with? What are the plugins are there? How do you configure security thing? How do you build a dashboard for yourself? These things I will explain as part of this video. Also, I'll give you some demo on how to create different kinds of project inside Jenkins. One of the way is kind of freestyle project, which is kind of like old way of doing thing, but we have a newer way of also like the pipeline kind of build, so that also I'll cover as part of this video. So in the detailed one, I'll cover like how do you clone a Git repository or any SVN repository. Then after that, how do you build by using the tools which are provided inside your Jenkins? Artifact is one of the important thing, like archival will be done after your application is built into an artifact, then pushed it to archival or repository server. Like Nexus will be one of the tool I will be using as part of this example. And post build, what are the steps you can perform? Like some application will require some kind of Sonar report publishing or any update to any other server. Once the deployment is done, it has to update it to something else. That step I'll cover. And as part of Jenkins 2, I'll talk about what are the things Jenkins 2 is offering, how the master agent model works, how the executors are defined inside that one, and defining stages of a build. Like you can define and segregate the different stages of a build, like the compilation phase is different from the deployment phase. So all this stage wise dashboard can be built directly into Jenkins by using Jenkins 2. And then how do you trigger the builds? When do you trigger the builds? Those understanding I will help you to build out of this video. And then finally into the Docker world, as Docker is one of the very important and very popular tool nowadays for the production environment as well as any other environment for building the image and directly deploying it to Docker kind of workspace where Kubernetes can be there or any other tools can be there where you can deploy the Docker images. So this I'll cover as part of this video. So if you want more details about like how to use Docker or how to work with any executor or anything, you can look into my channel. You'll get a lot of videos there and you can go through it. So let's start. The very first thing, why do and what is CI/CD is needed? Why do we need it? So let's start continuous integration. Why do we need a continuous integration thing and what is that? So if you say about continuous integration, if the team is very distributed, like if the 5 developers are there or 10 developers are there, what will happen? Everyone will be working on their feature into the code. And finally, they have to merge the code into the common code so that they will complete the application. They will merge the code into a single application. For that purpose, like merging into the single application, there should be a lot of checks has to happen because code is coming from the local machine of a developer. So code has to go through different phases to identify that code is ready for getting merged into your main or the shared branch. Then only the code is verified, and then only we can say that everything is in place. For that purpose, we have this continuous integration tools which takes the responsibility of doing all these things, like when the code is committed by the developer. After that, what are the things has to happen? What are the things has to automated? And that finally after that how the things can be promoted to next phase and it can be added into the main repository. All these things are taken care by the continuous integration tools available, and Jenkins provide a very good platform for doing those things. And then finally that continuous delivery or deployment. Once the code is merged, it should be ready for deployment. So as part of the agile kind of development model, the code should be ready for deployment anytime. Like the code can be ready by end of the week or by today in the evening. So that responsibility is taken by the continuous delivery tools available inside Jenkins. So that once the continuous integration is done, that will archive the product into an archival system, and continuous delivery will pull those archive and directly deploy into the required machines. So this is continuous integration and continuous deployment. And why do we need it? As we want everything to be automated. We don't want manual intervention to all those things. We don't want somebody should do it all manually, do one step, second step, and like that. So there should be an automation to that. For that purpose, we have Jenkins in place, which does the automation. We have alternative tools also like Bamboo or different kind of tools are there which are also capable of doing things. But in the Java world or kind of Docker or Java combination world, Jenkins is very popular. So as part of the CI/CD pipeline, what are the different phases it goes through is like first application will be compiled or the code will be compiled, unit test can be there. Then we check for code coverage, whether the code is passing some kind of JUnit code coverage criteria or not. Finally, we package that application into some packaging like jar or var kind of package. Then do the integration test also, like whether the code is up to the mark for integration test or not. Is it fulfilling all the required integration tests or not? After that, again, archival of the Docker or any kind of jar archival has to be done and pushed into an archival system like the repository management tool Nexus is providing. Where in this example, I'll cover like how do you build your application into a jar file or var file and publish it into a repository server, Nexus as the repository server, so that deployment time it will pull it from the repository server, whatever the latest version available to it, and do the deployment. And finally, the most important part, the deployment to the environment. This also I'll cover as part of different phases of CI/CD. So let's start introduction to Jenkins. Jenkins is very popular tool and most of the companies are using Jenkins for the build and deployment pipelines, creating all CI/CD process. This is basically a free and open source tool for automation. And the type of application it is basically a server side Tomcat based war kind of application, which is kind of war kind of Java application packaged inside a war file, and you can start the application directly by running that java jar hyphen var. So you can provide that one and start the application. And also it comes up with different type of installation type also, like the daemon thread. You can install it as a Windows service so that it will keep on running whenever the system is started, or any different way of installation can be done. So war file download, as I told, we can directly download the war file and start the application. And also, if you don't want the application to be started in a war file manner, you can start it by using the running the Docker engine. So that application will be inside Docker and it will run inside Docker engine. But for that purpose, you have to make sure that you are working with volumes, so that the volume should be persisted, and when you restart your Docker image, it should not lose the files whatever you have configured or whatever the workspace you have configured. It should not lose those files. For that purpose, there should be a volume attached to this Docker image, Docker container. That is compulsory for that. And what are the ports are needed? If you are not having the port available at 8080, you can look for some other port and configure the Docker based Jenkins environment. So if you want more details about how to configure Docker and related things, you can look into my channel for Docker videos. There I have explained it a lot. So next thing, what is build process? What exactly the build process and how it goes? So basically what happens is, being a developer, we commit the code into the Git repository or SVN kind of repository. So repository is an application which is capable of handling all the file system changes like Git has came up with, where when I push the code, I can push it into my branch or into a shared branch. So I'll push the code, whatever the changes I have done, I'll push it, and we can do a manual merge into the main branch, or we can wait for some process to complete, and after that it can be merged into the main branch, where a single branch will be the single source of truth code for all the developers. So after that, what happens is Jenkins pipeline keep on looking for changes inside Git repository. If any changes happens, it pulls those changes and triggers the build and deployment process, where all the phases start is where the application packaging is done, and after that application packaging, it got promoted to Nexus or repository server there, and after that the application will be built into a Docker image, and finally Docker archival also. There will be some repository. Either we can use Nexus as the repository, or we have different types of repository which are available for Docker image push also. So in this example, I will cover the Docker Hub, the open source repository. I have created an account there, and in that you can push your Docker image directly into the Docker Hub. So after that, the Docker Hub is a repository. You can pull the image, whatever the image you have created, you can pull at the time of deployment. For that purpose, you need some credential access, so that if it is a private or if it is not accessible, you should have the access to that particular repository. So this will be the process of the build. I'll give you an example of automating all this by using Jenkins. Let's go a little bit deep into what are the different phases. So as we discussed, like the developer commits the code into Git repository. After that, there is a kind of mechanism we can configure, like how do we check for changes. Poll SCM is one of the mechanism where it will keep on checking for is there any new commit happened. If any new commit happened, then it will start the build process. Based on that, it will start the build process, or we have different mechanism also, like when the code is uh, having some new changes, that time we can trigger the build, or we can do a periodic build also, like at particular interval of day or weekly once or weekly twice. Those kind of configuration are very easy with Jenkins process. So after that, it identifies some changes happen, new commit happen if with the poll SCM. After that, it will start the trigger or build process. In the build process, it goes through different phases. You can configure these phases manually. This is for a Java application kind of build phases. You can configure for your Angular based of application a different set of pipeline phases. Like here, I'm doing a compile, then JUnit, whatever the JUnit I want to run that one. Integration test I want to run. Code quality I want to check. After that, only do the packaging, and package application will be pushed into archival. So for archiving, I'm using a Nexus repository here. That is also with the help of Docker. I have started a Nexus repository. I'll give you the command also how to start that one. And at the end of this complete video, I'll attach this file with all the details, whatever I'm including as part of this video. So build Docker image. After that, process of archival of Docker image is also one of the important process, where you will push this image into Docker archival, and finally the deployment happens, where it will pull all those images and deploy into the respective environment. So this is the detailed deployment model, build and deployment model. So let's start. So from this point, we'll go into the live example. No more theories, only examples I will be covering. So let's start with that one. Let me show you the very first thing. Very first thing will be the Jenkins dashboard here. So if you see here, I have a Jenkins configured in my local system. So I have configured it at 8080 port. So this is the default port where the Jenkins will start up. Here you can see the list of Jenkins pipeline. These pipeline are for the purpose of building the application. There is a freestyle project which I am building, another project which I am building. So each one is for a different kind of project I want to build for. So this is the dashboard. So before getting into the dashboard, you can log in into your Jenkins dashboard from This one. So the very first thing will be you have to start off your Jenkins server. So Jenkins server, I have downloaded the Jenkins WAR file. From that, I'm starting this Jenkins server. So you can see that I have started this Jenkins by directly running a Java command, hyphen jar, and this is the Jenkins file. After that, you will get a prompt in the window which will give you the default password for admin. You have to enter that one. In this, you will get a default password. As I'm running it for the second time, you will I can't show here the password, but here itself you will get a default password. That password will be required to log in into for the first time. And afterwards, the Jenkins will start using the configuration directory. This configuration directory will be used by Jenkins for storing all the configuration files. If you go here and see the Jenkins folder, you can see that there is a different folders automatically Jenkins has created and for the purpose of your building application, everything. So whatever you are configuring plugin or your application, everything will be stored inside. In this very useful folder will be workspace. If you go inside that workspace folder, you can see that all the pipelines, whatever I have configured, will create one folder structure for that where it will clone that your code repository, and after that it will do the build process inside that one. So it is nothing but just a normal machine which is using some folder structure for automation purpose. After that, the next most important thing will be, let me open one file which will have all the details, what examples I'll be covering. So here, building application in different ways, like the freestyle way or the pipeline way I'll cover, and dashboard configuration. So how we can configure different things in our dashboard. So what are the plugins required? So if you go into Jenkins dashboard, you can configure the plugins by going into the Manage Jenkins link. If you are an admin user, then only you can see this Manage Jenkins link. If you are a normal user without this permission of configuring this application, you will not be able to see this Manage Jenkins option. So if you go inside Manage Jenkins option, what are the things we need for this example is I have listed out here. So we need to configure Docker daemon. The purpose of Docker daemon configuration is from Jenkins, I want to trigger Docker build. So for that purpose, I want to give a location of where exactly Jenkins is running and where exactly Jenkins can be triggered from. So for that purpose, in my local machine, I have Jenkins and Docker. So Docker daemon I have activated in my local machine that you have to configure here in your Jenkins configuration management. You can come here and you can configure system. In this, you can come at bottom. At the very bottom of this one, you can configure this Jenkins and Docker details. So cloud configuration section, you can come here inside this one. So cloud configuration section, you can configure the Docker details. So I have configured it like this. So what I have done is I have enabled Docker daemon at the port 2375. So you can see that TCP protocol is needed and this is needed. I'll share the details of how exactly you can enable Docker daemon in different types of systems. Like here, I'm using a Linux kind of machine which is Ubuntu, and I have enabled that Docker daemon. I have examples with Windows machine also how you can enable this Docker daemon. After that, you can configure that one. So after that, once you have given this protocol, like where exactly Docker daemon is, you can test the connection. Then it will give you, after successful configuration only, it will give you the version details of where exactly that, what is the version of this particular Docker daemon. So this got configured, and we need to configure some more thing as part of this configuration. If you see here, for the purpose of freestyle kind of project, I have configured the Docker builder also. So here in the Docker builder, I have given again this Docker details. So this is for this at the bottom cloud configuration I will be using as part of the pipeline kind of project, and this one for the purpose of a freestyle kind of project. So these two things I have configured. The third thing I have to configure is Nexus, which I have to start up in my local system. So if you see that one, this is the command I'm using. This is the command I have used for the purpose of starting Nexus inside a Docker Uh, so you can see that I'm just pulling a Docker image of Nexus, and inside my local system, I'm running this Docker at port number 8888. So you can browse to this, and you can look for the Nexus repository. So this one has started a Nexus repository in my local machine with this detail of container ID. So after that, you can look into the Nexus repository at 8888 localhost port, and here the default login username password will be admin, will be the username, and password will be admin123 if you are running it from the command which I am giving it here, which is kind of pulling a Docker image of Nexus type. So this is Nexus is basically for managing your repository. So whatever application you are building, like the application I'm building here is the jar file, whatever I'm building, it will maintain those jar file as part of this repository server. So whenever Jenkins build those application, after that it will push it to this server, this Nexus repository server, and store it inside the some file system or directory structure, whichever we will configure. So this is the Nexus repository server. This we have to configure. The next thing we have to, so these two things we configured, Docker daemon we configured, Nexus repository we have configured. So as part of Jenkins, again, you have to configure this Nexus repository. You need to configure this as part of Sonar type. So this plugin you have to install Sonar type, and here you have to provide that Nexus localhost detail. Display name is just a normal name. Server ID is again a normal name, nothing but just a normal name. The server host detail or URL detail is important, where exactly localhost you are running, and make sure that you appended it with the Nexus name at the end. And after that, credential is needed for the configuration of Nexus, so that Nexus should be able to push this repository into the Nexus repository. For that purpose, I'll go into the credential section where exactly I have configured this. So whatever credential store you will configure as part of your Jenkins will be listed out here, and those you can use it for the purpose of configuration of Nexus repository. So this you have to configure. So what we did is we configured Docker thing first, and then we configured the Nexus repository. So these two things we configured. The next thing which you need to configure as part of this pipeline is the credential. What are the different credentials we need? Docker daemon credential we need. So the purpose is what is needed here is, if you come here, I have configured. So you can come here at the bottom, you can see this credentials. So click on that and you can see that there are different credentials I have configured. One of the credential I have named as Nexus Cred, and another is Docker Hub. So you need to give the Docker Hub repository access, like whatever the repository you have, the username password for that repository you need to configure here. So you can even edit this configuration, or you can add new configuration also as part of this one. So you can click here and add credentials. Here you can select for either it is a username password type. So in case of both Nexus and Docker, I'm using username password kind of configuration. You can configure username password and provide the details username and password. So after that, that will be listed out by using this ID. Whatever the ID name you are giving, that will be listed out while configuring your Jenkins pipeline. So these things we need to configure. And as part of plugin configuration, the very important thing to run all this Docker, Nexus, everything, you need a set of plugins. Jenkins works only when it is having those required plugin configured. So in the manage Jenkins section, again, you can go here and configure that Jenkins. So manage plugins is option is there. You can click here and you can see that what are the plugins available in the repository, and you can install from here. Here you can search for Docker. So you can see that there are different Dockers installations are available. But as part of this one, you need to install. Let me go to the installed one. So there are already existing plugins also there, and also I have installed some of the plugins. So Docker plugin, Docker pipeline, Docker build setup. These plugin please install before starting this application. So also you need to install the Sonar type. Sonar type is Nexus plugin I have installed. Nexus artifact upload I have installed. So this you have to install. So that's it. Those are the only extra plugin I'm installing as part of this requirement. So let's go to the actual example. Now, what we need to do here is we need to create an application build. So for that purpose, what I have done, I have created one of the Java kind of application here, which is just a Java, normal Java or Spring Boot application, which is having some kind of Jenkins file configuration, Docker Compose configuration. You don't need everything right now. One by one, I'll explain everything. So this application is nothing but a Spring Boot application. So if you have different kind of packaging or startup of different type of Java application, you can configure also. But I'm using a Spring Boot application. So that packaging is done in terms of like a jar file. So you can see my GitHub, and you can also download this Git repository and start trying for that. So here, this is a Spring Boot application. Here, what I have configured is Docker file I have configured. If you want to know about more Docker file, you can look into my channel for more details about what exactly Docker file and how can you create your custom Docker image. So as part of this one, this will create a Docker image which will have this app. So this app will be built and provided so that this when the Docker image will be started, this will run a Docker image of whatever the app is built. So this is a Maven kind of project. So when you build the Maven kind of project, the application will get built into some of whatever the output type you want. So as part of Spring Boot application, the output will be a jar file. So jar file will be prepared and then we'll do all those things. So let's go into the Jenkins pipeline and we'll start configuring all those things one by one. So let me take the git clone URL of this one. So here in the new item section, you can configure different types of pipeline. So here the old way of doing thing is freestyle project. So let me select the freestyle project. So in this, I'll say that. So YouTube free is the name I'm giving it here. And after that, you can say OK for that. So we have different options also, like before that, before the application build, what do you want? So all those things you can configure as part of this one. Different sections are there. You can give a description about what is this project is about and what is the purpose of this pipeline. So in the source code management, you can come here and provide the Git URL. So this is the Git URL you are providing. And if it is a private Git repository, you need to configure some credential store. So as this is not a private Git URL, I don't have to provide any credential store. After that, what is the branch I want? Like the master branch, I'm saying that that branch I will use as part of building this application. You can use this, or you can give other branch also as part of your code. And if you are going with a subversion kind of SBN kind of project also, you can configure those also. After that, build trigger. When do you want the trigger to happen? So when do you want the trigger of this application build happen? So you have different ways of doing it. Let's take the poll SCM. Basically, poll SCM, what it does it's keep on looking for changes inside your Git repository, and whenever anything new changes happens, then it takes those changes and build the application. Here I can provide that this regularly takes a regex kind of expression. So this we can provide the regex like in terms of 5 star. So each star denotes one kind of different timestamp. So once I say OK, you can see that it is trying to configure that one and giving you some hint about what exactly this 5 star means. It means that every minute it will check for my Git repository and it will try to find out if anything new changes happens, it will start the build process. So poll SCM, I'm giving it for every minute. Let it be every minute. After that, what do you want? Like before building the application, what do you want? Like I want to clean up my workspace so that there should not be any problem of code cache. So sometimes what happens is while cloning, if the file is already there, some file lock happens or something happens, because of that file is not able to clone properly. Code repository is not cloned properly. For that purpose, I'll say that delete workspace before the build start. So what it will do, it will delete that complete workspace inside that, like for this is the pipeline. So this pipeline folder will be cleaned totally before starting the process. So I'm saying that delete workspace. You have a different options also with Ant, or if you are going with a different kind of project, you can choose for that. And after that, what do you want to be built? What is type of the build type of the application? Here, this is basically a Maven kind of application. So what I can say is I can choose like invoke top level Maven target. This option I can choose from here because this is basically a Maven application. Maven application will take the command, what exactly the phases or goal you want. Let me give the clean and install phase here. And also for reducing the time, I'll give the extra option for skipping the tests for time being. So this will do a build of application. So by using this command, after that you can configure many things like once this application is built, if this is a kind of R kind of application or jar kind of application, we can choose for publishing this into the repository. Nexus repository can store this application. So where exactly Nexus repository can store it? So let me open one more pipeline which I have configured, and there I'll show you other options also. So if we take freestyle project, this is one of the project I configured. So if you see again, the configuration is with the get URL I have given here, the master branch I have given, and poll SCM I have given, deleting the workspace I have given, clean install -d skip test I have provided. After that, you can choose for a Nexus repository manage publisher. So here in this, I have given my local system Nexus repository where it will publish your code. So it will publish the code into this kind of packaging. So where exactly the group ID, artifact ID, versioning, what is the type of jar file, and what is the where exactly the jar file is. Based on that, it will publish this artifactory. So whatever the application build happens from the Maven will be pushed by using this Nexus repository manage publisher into your repository so that this jar file will be published so that any other service can use this whatever the latest jar file from the repository. After that, I want also the Docker image also built because this is a jar file. This is a kind of executable jar file, but I want the required environment also to be built so that the application will be built totally in terms of a Docker image kind of application. So for that purpose, here I have chosen one more option of execute Docker command. So what exactly execute Docker command will do? A create and build option I have selected. So let me go back to the previous one. So here for the purpose of publishing it to Nexus, you can select an option here from add build step. So what is the option you want to is like Nexus repository manager publisher. Here you can choose for already existing Nexus repository and which repository inside that one you want publishing this artifact to. So I'm saying that third party is one of the folder I have created. There we can publish this artifactory. After that, we need to give the package details also, like what is the group ID, what is the artifact ID. If you are a Maven kind of project development software engineer, you will be aware of all these things very much. So what is the type of packaging? And after that, we have to give the path of the jar file. As part of this one, I have shown you what is the path, where exactly the jar file is there. So based on that, you can configure that one. The next step after this one is again one more add build step. Like I'll say that execute Docker command. I want a Docker command to be executed after this jar file is built and published. So what is the Docker command I want is you can choose from a set of different Docker commands are there. So anyone you can choose as per your requirement. Here my requirement is after the application jar file is built, I want to build a Docker image also, and for that I will choose the option create and build Docker image. And here you have to give the path of the Docker file, like where exactly the Docker file is there. So here in my application, Docker file is sitting as part of the code repository. If you see my code repository, I have kept the Docker file inside the main workspace. So that path you have to provide it here. So I have provided the workspace as the path. So it will take the Docker file from this location and build the Docker image. So Docker image once built, what is the next step you want? Like here, if you see that, so Docker image build, and finally this application build is complete. So you can configure all these things, and many different things you can configure as part of post build also. Like as part of post build, I want to delete workspace once the everything is post, or if you want some custom post executable things to be done, you can configure all those things as part of this Jenkins pipeline. So this is a freestyle way of configuring your pipeline. So if you see here, this is the freestyle project, and you can see that there is a success happens, and there is a cloud kind of symbol is there, which is kind of sometimes it failed also, and but right now it is at success stage. So if you click here, you can see that what are the build happens. So you can see that these many builds happens, and this is the latest one. If you click on that one, you can see the console output like logs, whatever the build logs happen. So here you can trigger the build by clicking on the build. So that will build the application and push it into the Artifactory server. So let me click on that. We can see the details of that one. So here console output, if you see that one console output, you can see that Maven code Git repository it cloned. After that, it is cleaning that and building the Maven application. So Maven application it is trying to build. It is a kind of Spring Boot Maven application. So it is building it. After that, whatever we have configured, see this build succeeded for the Maven build. After that, it is publishing that successfully uploaded this Maven artifact. That means this artifact is published to the repository server, whatever we have configured. And after that, it is trying to run the Docker command also for building the application. Whatever the Docker file we have provided for using that, it has built the application and pushed it. So this is the Docker image got built with this ID. So finally the job, Ankin's job got succeeded. If you see here in the Nexus repository, it has published that one. So let me refresh it. You can see that inside third party. So whatever we have configured that, so this is the folder structure we configured that. Inside that one, we have given the version and artifact details. So this got published. This jar file got published here. So application got built and published to the repository server. This is the process we did. Let's go to the next way of for the future of building the application pipeline, which is by using a pipeline. Pipeline is where everything goes inside a script, and instead of using this drop down and directly using the already existing configuration, we have to write some pipeline kind of code inside that one. So this is the pipeline kind of build we have. So here, what we need is, let's go to the new item selection. Here, what we can say is, I want a pipeline type of build. So for that purpose, I have to give a name. After that, pipeline I'll select for. Then I'll go OK. And here again, you can see that all those options are there. Build trigger option is there, which is very few options are available here. After that, there is a way to configure all the script here. So here you can configure all your script, what exactly you want for building this application. So this looks bit difficult for writing all this script, and this takes groovy kind of scripting. But this is the latest trend which any pipeline will use for. The benefit of using pipeline is we don't have dependency of this pipeline. Whatever we built before, the freestyle way is only for this server. But if you want to migrate it from this server to any other server, there are a lot of challenges. Again, you need to configure one by one manually, selecting all the drop down options. But here, as part of pipeline, when you have all those as part of script, you don't have to do anything. You just have to run the script anywhere. Just take that basic phase of like this configuration of this one, and you just have to add that script inside that, and you can build the same application. No challenges in missing any kind of pipeline configuration which we did prior to this one. So also this is portable also, and that can be maintained inside your repository also. Like in this, I have maintained this one as part of Jenkins file. If you see that one, there is Jenkins file as part of your application repository where I'm maintaining this whatever the build is happening, that whatever the command is required for that purpose, I am maintaining that build script. So this Jenkins file you can directly configure here as part of your Jenkins pipeline by using the second option. First is script option where the Jenkins pipeline will have the script. Second option here we have is by using SCM tool. S- In that, it will pull from the Git repository where exactly this Jenkins file or any other file if you are providing as part of this one, then you can give the path of that. So let's take it, whatever the Git repository I have, I can give the Git repository URL, and after that it will be ready for your, the pipeline is ready. It is very simple to do that. You can see that this way I have configured that, and after that it will take that Jenkins file and do the build process. Whatever you are making changes inside Jenkins file directly will be modified inside your pipeline. You don't have to come here and do the manual changes in your pipeline. So this is the best way of configuring. So I have created one more example for pipeline script. Let's go with pipeline script because first, while configuring the pipeline, we go with this kind of scripting here, and then later on after everything is done successfully, we migrate this whatever this script we created into the Jenkins file and directly build the application by using Jenkins file. So first part will be like a node is required for this purpose. So what exactly node is? Basically a Jenkins works with a master slave architecture here. So master slave architecture is required for building pipeline when we have a bigger requirement where we have a pipeline is capable of building thousands of jobs together. In that case, we need master slave kind of architecture. For that, I'm saying that node, take the current node as the node configuration. If you want multiple nodes to be configured, you can come here and configure your at the configuration section, manage Jenkins section, you can configure your executors and other things also. Manage nodes and clouds. In this section, you can attach some more machine which will work as a slave for building the application. Master will trigger the application build and it will give the job to some slave machine. It will do the build process. So that option we can try for. But right now, I'll go with the single node machine where this is the node where the application build will happen. There are different types of nodes also, but I'll take the master node which will do the build process. Here, the very first thing will be like, what do I want? I want to clean this application uh, so that uh, what will happen is like whatever we configured as part of our Jenkins pipeline by using the freestyle. Same thing we'll try to achieve here by using the configuration mode or by using the script mode. So here for cleaning the workspace, we can say that we can have some commands like this. So this is kind of the command for cleaning the workspace. By default, Groovy scripting is supported here. Here I'm saying that I'll define a git URL inside this URL body, and the first stage will be like where exactly what is the name of the stage will be, and after that I'm saying that clean workspace as the script. This script is very handy, and even you can create the script dynamically by using the pipeline support at the below. If you see here, Pipeline is providing some syntax help. You can come here into the syntax help and you can choose for what are the options available inside syntax help. You can see here already it is providing some list of syntax available. So you can choose from here and give some option. Whatever option you have seen in Freestyle project, you can choose those option here and you can generate a pipeline script. So pipeline script you can just copy inside your stage. So here clean workspace is one of the script I want for the purpose of like before starting the application build, I'll clean the workspace. Let me go to one more pipeline which I have built and I'll show you the script what I have configured here. One by one, we can see that one. So this is the script I'm using it here. So clean workspace. For that purpose, I have configured this get URL. After that, clean workspace, and then the next stage is code checkout. I want to check out this git code. For that purpose, git URL I'm using, and you can see that master branch is there. You can generate the script by using the script pipeline script here. Just you can give the what is the branch, and same thing whatever we did as part of freestyle, you can configure here also, and you can generate that script. So this script got generated. After that, I want a Maven clean to happen. So compile stage. Everything I'm doing is stage by stage. So we can name it stage and we can provide some concurrency label also so that it whatever the stage it is trying to achieve can be worked in a concurrent manner also. So those options are also available. But right now, single concurrency model I'm using. So for that purpose, compile stage is there. We can compile the stage. After that, test. I'm doing a run of test, Maven test. Then Maven Artifactory build, I'm doing it here. Then pushing it into Nexus repository, which is kind of third-party repository. Again, I'm pushing it into this one, Nexus repository. Then finally, I need to publish this Docker image. So where exactly I want this Docker image to be published. So you can see that this is the Docker image I'm publishing it into. So you can see that this is the Docker image and so this is the repository URL. So where exactly, if you have a custom repository, you can give the path of the Docker UI, Docker API, and based on that, what is the credential? This is the second parameter is the type of the credential. So if you see as part of my credential store, I have given Docker Hub as the credential name. That credential is needed for publishing it, and more details about what is the type of image, what is the name and tag of the image, all these details I'm giving it here. And after that, I'm saying that push the image, and later on I want the Docker to run also. So as part of this example, I'm saying it one Docker Compose configuration I have created, which will first try to stop that one. If already existing Docker Compose is running for this application, I'll try to stop it and then later on start in a detach mode. So this is the configuration I have created. So based out of that, when we run this one, this will build the application and run all those things. If you see, uh, after that, we can port this, whatever the code we have written as part of the Groovy script directly into the Jenkins file and give it by using the source code management here. So this pipeline I have configured. Now, what is needed is just build this application. If you see that one, uh, everything is happening inside this one. So git clone happened by using the script. After that, it built one of the service. So build success, Maven clean happen. Then test got executed. Whatever the text was there, it got executed. Then it tried to run the integration test as well in the console. You can see that one. After that, finally, it built the application. Then, uh, so there will be uploading to the Maven Artifactory. Artifactory it uploaded to. Then finally Docker Hub repository, it uploaded all this Docker image. Then you can see that login succeeded to the Docker Hub, whatever the Docker Hub I have given. And based out of that, it to build that application and pushed it into here the Docker Hub repository. And this image is built. You can see that all the image build happened. Then finally, it tried to start that application by using the Docker Compose. And as part of the Docker Hub, you can see that this application is getting built and published here to the Docker Hub repository. So this is kind of, you can configure that pipeline way, and the pipeline way is the only best way right now in the industry. Every project is using the pipeline way of building instead of directly configuring the freestyle way. So the purpose of stages, whatever the stage name we give, so here you can see that all those stage name is visible here. So workspace clear, code checkout, these are the custom name which I have provided as part of the pipeline, and those are visible here. And you can see that any point of time, if it is failing at any particular stage, that stage will be visible here directly, and you can visualize that where exactly the fail happened. So this is all about Jenkins, working with Jenkins and publishing a Docker image into Jenkins and creating all this custom image by using Jenkins and pushing it. So this is complete way of doing a CI/CD. That's all for this video. Please share and subscribe this channel if you really like this video. Thank you everyone.